Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in today's video I am ranking, in my opinion, the top 20 best Vince and Larry PSAs. Probably one of the most effective PSA campaigns ever made, as when they started in 1985, the percentage of seatbelt users at 14%, and then by the end of their campaign, which was 1997, it was up to 79%. To be completely honest, I love all of these PSAs, and I think that they're all very well done in every aspect. I'm telling you right now, this list was really hard to make because all the PSAs are really good, and it was so hard to rank it into a top 20 list. But that really shows how good this campaign is and how good the PSAs are. But let's rank my top 20 best Vince and Larry PSAs.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
You know how many people without safety belts survive even a 30-mile-an-hour crash in one piece?
About half?
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Come on, Vince. Head coach wants to see you.
This one just managed to squeeze its way into this list because the pun of this PSA is great. It's a simple but funny PSA, but I really don't feel like this PSA is that memorable compared to some of the others in this list. But this is still a good PSA and it does get a laugh out of me.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Imagining what it feels like to be in a crash doing only 30 without your safety belt is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Honestly, the same kind of thing goes for this PSA as well, because it's short and simple and it's funny, but it's not as memorable as some of the other ones. But I feel like this one's a little bit funnier than the other one, and I don't really have much else to say about this one, to be honest.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Here's a not-so-fun fact, Vince.
And what is that, your Larryness?
A rollover happens every 10 minutes.
How long have we been driving?
9 minutes and 58.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Oh, this job is wearing very thin.
The start of this PSA is great. It does get a little bit disturbing when Vince is about to be bloody steamrolled. Honestly, quite funny this one, especially with the start. The start's great, and it's just a good PSA.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Hey, Charlie, looks like you could use a shoulder to cry on.
There's one in here somewhere.
Vince, what are you doing?
Getting out of the crash dummy business. No way I'm ending up like Charlie there.
But, Vince, how else can we prove safety belts save lives?
We could buckle up.
How many times I gotta tell you, we're dummies. We don't wear safety belts.
Vince, Larry, your number's up.
Could save a life.
No, I'm with you, partner.
Yeah.
Vince, break a leg.
A regular comedian.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
It's just very solid. Good puns and just a solid PSA. This PSA doesn't have much of a message to rely on, as it's just the crash test dummies getting ready for another crash test, and I like it. And also it does really make sense why it doesn't have that much of a message in this, because they're preparing to actually test.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
I love the approach that they took with this PSA. It's quite great getting Larry to be a conductor of a crash. It also shows how dangerous it is for kids to be sitting in the front seat, and it's quite comedic as well, so I like it. I don't know what it is, but the end with Skid the Kid where his head shakes violently is hilarious.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Vince, remember how we got our jobs telling people to buckle up?
Yeah, it seems just like yesterday.
Next.
To buckle or not to buckle?
Next. Next. We are never going to find a safety belt spokesperson.
Let's get buckled!
Yeah, we've helped save thousands of lives.
But some people still don't buckle up. So let's hit it!
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Honestly, such a great idea for this PSA to tell the origins of Vince and Larry and how they got hired to tell people to buckle up. Especially at this point where a lot of people had seen these PSAs because they've been airing for about 6 years at this point. Also, I'm pretty sure this is the year that the toy line started with the whole Incredible Crash Dummies shit, so it does make sense that this came out when it did.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Have you lost your head?
That's what I'm trying to avoid, my friend.
But Vince, if we don't belly up to the bullseye, how else can we prove that safety belts save lives?
Oh, it ain't working, Larry. Nobody's listening.
Sure they are. Look at them. They're buckled up.
Hey.
Them too.
So maybe eating all these dashboard hors d'oeuvres is worth it.
For sure.
Hey, let's head back.
Hey, buddy, I didn't know you knew how to drive.
Drive? Drive?
Whoa!
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
I love the idea that Vince just straight up drives away from a crash test. Such a great idea that leads up to a funny and great PSA. It's probably one of the more well-known Vince and Larry PSAs, and I can honestly understand why, because it's a good PSA.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
I hate how they wrinkle my suit.
You ought to see my cleaning bill.
Oh, they rub against my neck. They're uncomfortable.
How about this for an alternative?
Safety belts are way too confining.
I'm in complete agreement.
More or less.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
It's the second situation that really makes this PSA great. But the second response in this just absolutely kills me. Also, Vince's dance moves when Larry's head pokes through the windscreen is god tier. You can't beat his dance moves.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Larry, you know, this simple exercise can help you stay healthy, which keeps medical costs down.
But you gotta do it every day, Vince. Or you'll get out of shape fast.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
I believe this was the first Vince and Larry PSA to ever air on TV, and it's quite memorable and it's pretty good. It's a charming PSA that didn't rely on scaring the shit out of their audience to get their message across, like every other PSA at the time. And honestly, who knew that this would start a long-running PSA campaign and a toy line as well, starting from the mid-80s, ending in the late 90s.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
It's time for You Lost Your Life with your hosts, Crash Dummies, Vince and Larry.
Hi! Hello, and welcome to the show that proves if you don't buckle your safety belt, the loser is you.
That's right, Vince, and by not buckling up, you could end up in places you never dreamed.
Like traction!
Or the emergency room!
Plus, Larry, if you're not buckled up, you could maybe take a ride in a beauty like this. Stay tuned!
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Probably the darkest Vince and Larry PSA, but I quite like this. Like, the subject matter of this PSA is actually quite disturbing, but I love the approach they take with it, where they make it look like it's The Price is Right or something like that. It's quite a good PSA, and it has a really good comedic approach towards something that could be taken really seriously.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Why don't you come up here, Pumpkin?
What are you doing, Larry?
Well, Vince, I've asked my pumpkin to sit on my lap to prove a point.
And what is that, your Larryness?
Even if we fasten our safety belts, even if you hold on tight, even if you were watching the road, in a crash, your pumpkin will be nothing but a squash.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Use child safety seats.
We love that little pumpkin to pieces.
God, I love this one. They actually came up with a great demonstration for a child by using a pumpkin. And they do that to show that if you were holding your child in the front seat and you got into an accident, they'll just go flying straight out the window. The end pun of this PSA is so damn good as well.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
You know, hitting a windshield at 30 miles per hour is a lot like this.
I'd give you a 10, my friend, but you didn't keep your legs together.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
This is short but great. I feel like I'm saying great every second word, but I don't know how else to describe these PSAs. It's pretty funny, and yet another PSA that has a great demonstration for their scenario.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
That's it. I'm history. End of the road.
You can't quit, Vince. No crash dummy takes out a utility pole like you do.
Larry, for years I've been proving how safety belts save lives, but nobody's listening.
Sure they are.
Yeah, that's why thousands die in car accidents every year. I feel like I'm banging my head against the wall.
Come on, Vince. Tomorrow's the big day. 2 compacts. Head on.
High speed?
Could save a life.
No, I'll be there.
Yeah.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
I love how Vince just always wants to quit being a crash test dummy. I don't blame him though. But I really like the chemistry that Vince and Larry have with one another in these PSAs. It's just completely unmatched compared to every other PSA campaign out there. Both of the characters, you can easily understand their personalities, and I gotta give mad props to the writing team for that because it's really hard to even do it in a film, yet in a PSA.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
On the big highway of life, there's only one safe place for kids. Backseat, baby. The front seat's not the place to drop out. Don't want that big old bag to pop out. Backseat, baby. Put that booties in the backseat. Backseat, baby. Have that kids you never meet. I'm here to remind you to put them behind you. Backseat, baby. Wow, look at here. Backseat, baby. You stay alive even when I drive.
The song in this PSA is so catchy, what the fuck. Ray Charles just absolutely killed this one, and I'm pretty sure this is the last Vince and Larry PSA that they ever did, but at least they ended on a high note. It's a great song to actually keep in people's heads, to tell people to put kids in the back seat, and I quite like it for that.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
They broke the law at every turn. They had no restraint. They were rebels without a clue.
What's wrong with you guys?
Oh, compound fractures, contusions.
No, I mean, why no safety belts?
It's just what dummies do.
Oh, yeah? Well, this is what I do.
Busted for not wearing safety belts.
Hey, pal, it's the law.
Police are ticketing across the nation. Buckle your safety belt.
I talked about this one in my last video where I said it's the funniest Vince and Larry PSA, but shit, this one's so good. I love the approach they took with this one with like the noir style of film. And it's just straight out funny. Also, the writing in this PSA is really fucking good. Like the first response that Larry gives to the cop absolutely kills me. Honestly, it's just so funny that it's a crime, and I love this one.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
What's wrong, Vince?
My woman's done left me, my dog ran away, and people still aren't wearing their safety belts.
Aw, Vince, you singing those buckle up blues again?
Some people don't wear their seat belts. I can't believe it's true. Those kind of people get knocked right out of their shoes. So buckle up, baby. Don't sing me those buckle up blues.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
I mean it, baby. Buckle, honeysuckle, buckle, yeah.
Speaking of catchy, the Buckle Up Blues are way too catchy. Come on, Vince, I don't want to get these songs stuck in my head. Well, I'll make an exception for this.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Vince, this Crash Dummy Hall of Fame's impressive.
Yeah, look.
Ben hurt.
He tried to get safety belts in chariots.
Ah.
Alexander Graham Belt.
Watson, buckle up. Watson, buckle up.
Look, it's the Mona Lisa.
Not much to smile about if people aren't buckling up.
Vince, by telling people safety belts save lives, do you think we'll end up here?
Let's hope so.
Ludwig von Brake's broken.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Most of the time I'd usually hate puns like this, but in this PSA I absolutely love it. It's great, and honestly it's an awesome idea to have a crash test dummy Hall of Fame, but it's all puns for people throughout history like Beethoven and Mona Lisa. It's quite funny while also being a memorable PSA.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Hey, thanks to these airbags here, this job is now a piece of cake, Claire.
But Vince...
Yeah, I'll tell you something, partner. I just might stick around a few more years.
But Vince...
No more dashboard du jour or Vince under glass, huh?
But Vince... Look out! Even with airbags, Vince, you still got to remember to buckle your safety belt.
Now you tell me.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
This one's so good. I love how Vince just gets cocky about the situation he's in until they both get booted out of the side of the car. Some people might not agree with me putting this up so high, but I just love this PSA.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Vince, get up. Safety belt test at 9. Hurry.
Not another windshield taste test. Count me out.
What? The old pro backing down from a motorhome?
Nothing like that. I'm just tired of trying to convince people to wear safety belts. No one's listening.
Safety belt saved Barbara Mandrell.
You're right. Someone listen. Let's hit the road.
You hungry, partner?
Let's do some donuts on the way in.
Good idea.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Probably the first time that Vince didn't want to do a crash test, and I love this. Also, the fact that Vince and Larry have their own bedrooms are great. Also, the fact that they reference a country singer that actually wore their seatbelt and didn't die in a car accident is a pretty good idea.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Gosh, Darlene, it sure is amazing how much we have in common.
I know, Larry. We both love three-car pileups. We both were built in Buffalo.
And we both know wearing safety belts help save thousands of lives.
Yeah, this is fascinating.
Don't mind Vince. He's getting over a bad breakup.
I know. Janet's picking up the pieces, too. They're in here.
I wish they understood it's all worth it to get people to buckle up.
Hey, lacerated lovebirds, I sense a major crush.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Talk about head over heels.
It's so hard to pick my favorite, but this is probably my favorite. Everything is just top notch about this PSA, and the puns could be more perfect. I love this PSA so much, and it's probably one of the first PSAs I actually think of when I think of Vince and Larry PSAs. And the reason why is because this one's just so damn good. So that was my ranking of the top 20 Vince and Larry PSAs. Honestly, it was just way too hard putting all these PSAs into a top 20 list because they're all so good. Sorry I didn't have too much to say about each of the PSAs because most of these PSAs are quite short, so there isn't really too much to say about them anyway. But in my next video, I will be going more in depth about Vince and Larry in general and be able to really go in depth about their history and whatnot as well. So stay tuned for that in the next few days. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like and also subscribe to the channel if you enjoy my content. I will be doing a Q&A when I hit 250 subs, so get on it. Also make sure to comment what you thought of this video down below as I'd really appreciate all your feedback. But anyways, buckle your safety belts and I'll catch you on the next one.